Thank you for tuning in to The Bishop is Speaking. My name is Bishop M.J. Rivers and I am the host. Well, on tonight, we're going to be speaking with two very excellent nonprofits that I found in Monroe in Union County. As you know, the church moved to 2740 Gray Fox Road in Monroe, North Carolina. And I joined the Union County Chamber of Commerce, and while I was at one of the networking events, I ran into Miss Linda Hastings. She sits on the board of directors for Operation Reach Out. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
We're so glad to have you here. And also, I met the Reverend Tom Rabette. He is the founder of Tent City Ministries. And Reverend Rabette, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you. Let's just dive into the conversation. And what I would like Miss Linda Hastings to tell us a little bit more about Operation Reach Out.
All right. Well, Operation Reach Out's been around for about 31 years now. We were founded in 1987 by three people: Modine Howie, Ben Strickland, and James Sessoms. And we started as a food pantry initially, and I think those three were doing it on their own. Somehow they connected, and they started Operation Reach Out. And it's grown, of course, from a food pantry to providing a lot of assistance in a lot of different ways to the people in Union County who are either in poverty or just going through crisis situations where they might need help just for that time in their lives where they've experienced job loss or just something going on where they need something immediately.
Mm-hmm. And so why did you name it Operation Reach Out?
Well, I'm not one of the founders, so I'm not sure, but we do reach out, obviously, to the community. And really, Operation Reach Out has just morphed into a place where people walk in and there's all kinds of problems that people might have. They may need financial assistance. They may need gas money to get to a job. They might need just to talk to somebody, spiritual help. Mm-hmm. So we meet people where they are. We meet people where they are. Whatever their crisis is, we try to help them. And if we can't, we find somebody who can.
Excellent, excellent ministry. And let me bring in Reverend Tom Rabette. Listen, let me tell you about this guy. He goes in the woods. Reverend Rabette has a Tent City Ministry. Reverend Rabette, tell us a little bit more about your ministry.
Well, Tent City Ministry is a faith-based Christian ministry, and we're located in Monroe, and on the same campus as Operation Reach Out. Mm-hmm. And it has been a huge tool for us, our ministry, to come on board and partner with Operation Reach Out, and it has helped our ministry be more effective in helping those in the camp communities. At times it was difficult for me because I was running home 7 miles from where my office is now, and so it was really difficult for me to run the 7 miles, get what I needed under the house. My wife and I had canned goods and things like that, things that we needed to provide to those in the camps. And it was interesting because James Sessom had heard me, because they have showers, they provide showers for people that are homeless as well. Mm-hmm. And I had known about that, and I brought two of my friends from the woods there to get a shower, and they provide meals. And I had said something to someone about my ministry, and he overheard it, James Sessom, the executive director. And not thinking of anything about it, I stepped out to get in my truck. I told them I'd be back when they're done with their shower. And James comes running out. Hey, hold on, slow down. He says, I need to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And I says, well, what is it? And he said, we have been praying about putting together some type of program that helps homeless people, and we really don't know too much about it. We help the community, but we really don't know, we don't have the experience in helping those of no fixed address. And he said, would you be willing to come and talk with me tomorrow? And I said, sure. And there's God at work. We sat down together and talked, and the board got together. Everyone got on board and invited my ministry to be under their umbrella, and furnished me an office, furnished my ministry a warehouse facility. And it's good for the people that I minister to, because it's a great place for them to come and even have Bible study at 12 o'clock, and then at 12:30 they can even get their shower, they can get fed, and then have Bible study, all in just a couple hours. So it's very very effective, and it's time for anyone that feels led to minister to them as well. And so it's a huge opportunity for my ministry to come on board with Operation Reach Out. Praise God.
It's been just a great fit. When this was in January, is that right?
Yeah, January of 2018.
Perfect fit, because they do come into our office every day. Monday, we're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 2, and different people come in, but certainly homeless people come in, and we help them as we can. But Tom you go out to the camps almost every day, so he sees where they are, he finds out what their needs are, and I think you're on our website now, so it's been a great partnership to have Tent City Ministry as part of Operation Reach Out. It's been great.
And just for the benefit of the audience, let me kind of put it in context. Operation Reach Out, they were in existence for over 30 years. Reverend Rabette, he found his calling around 2010.
No, sir, it was 2016, when I answered the call to minister to those that live in the tent camp communities.
Right.
Now, of course, I had spent time in other ministries, but I was mentoring homeless people as well in sober living facilities.
Okay. So 2016, and so now they found a way to work together in the kingdom. It is very important that those of us who are called by God, that we work together. We don't have to specialize in everything. Everybody needs to stay in their lane. And when you find somebody that's in the kingdom, that's satisfying the need that you don't focus on, then that's an excellent marriage. Somebody ought to say amen.
Amen.
Amen. And so what I wanted to do, let me, Linda, tell us a little bit more about your ministry mission.
Well, our core values are, as people walk through the door, are mercy. We don't want to judge people. It's easy to judge somebody who needs our help because we don't know their situation, but that does happen in poverty, where we believe they shouldn't be. How did they get there?
Right.
And we start making judgments. But one of our core values is to have mercy on people, and they walk in the door and we don't judge, and we're not cynical about what's happening with them. We just want to help them. Our second one is unity as a staff and board. Our third one is stewardship of the funds that we receive from our donors. And of course, the next one is transformation. We help people. We hope that we have helped transform them. And I think, like Tom, we want to share the gospel of Christ with them. I mean, that's first and foremost as they walk in.
Right.
Every day, Monday through Friday, we're open 9 to 2, as I said before, and we do provide a lunch and Bible study for anybody. I think it's the Bible study first, and then lunch.
Yes,
and lunch is provided by volunteers, churches, and individuals who bring the lunch to us, and and a lot of times they serve it as well. So that's been great. I think I mentioned we provide financial help who people might need help paying a utility bill, paying a medicine bill. I think one of the questions I wanted to answer for you was how often do we help people? I think our financial guidelines, you have to make an appointment, and I'm not sure how often we help you with your utility bill. I know that we provide $75 a year for medicine, so we help people that way. If people need clothing, they can apply for clothing about every 3 months. If you need furniture or bedding, that might happen if you're moving into a new place or if you've been burned out of your home. And of course, all these things usually are from referrals, Department of Social Services, crisis assistance, a church, or pastor, a doctor, if it's the medicine. And I wanted to say one more, Health Quest for medicine. So most of the time we get referrals from people. We want to talk to them. We want to find out their situation. What else, Tom? Can you think of anything? Of course, Tent City Ministry is definitely a part of our ministry now. One thing we do have, emergency housing. If somebody comes in as an emergency crisis for housing, we do partner with hotels in Monroe who will house people for 1 to, I think, in 3 days. And of course, all this is based on our funds. So when we do as much as we can monthly, and then if we run out of funds for that month, then it goes to the next month. So we can't help everybody who walks in the door. People that we can't help, we just try to find a place where they can go to get it.
Amen. Now let me bring Reverend Rebet back in, because Reverend Rebet takes the gospel, and I'll just let him tell you. Reverend Rebet.
He's got a good story too about that. So
Thank
you
you
need to tell that story.
Yes, I must speak first about how God had humbled me. I have spent time in ministry and ministering to others, and I just got great zeal to bring people to salvation and help God's kingdom grow. And I had attended a function, a church function for a sober living facility they have on Monday nights. So this was a time I came to support the guys there in this facility. And while we were eating, after we eat and then we have worship, well, while we were eating, 2 homeless people had walked in. Well, let me back up a little bit. Prior to this, this gentleman that I was mentoring was a homeless person. He was staying at this sober living facility. He knew all about the homeless. He knew all the people in the homeless camps. I knew nothing. But these 2 people homeless people that walked in and sat down at a table, and they served them. And I just kept looking over there at them, and they're sitting there, and you just seemed kind of, somebody needs to get up and say something to them. And I just felt so compelled. And so I walked up and I sat down with them, and as much as I like to talk, I asked them how they're doing, and we got to know each other and talked with them. And then after all of that was said, I had just this strong compulsion to minister to the homeless. So I went to my go-to man, my friend that I had been mentoring, and I says, "Buddy, would you help me? I feel a strong calling to help these people in these tent camp communities." And he said, "Sure, Tom, what do you need to know?" And I says, "Well, I don't even know what questions to ask yet." I says, "But I'm going to write down a list and I'll give it to you." And he did so. He got the list and he says, "Yeah, I'm great." And so I'm excited. I got back to my wife and I told her, what God has done and moved in my life and given me this opportunity to deliver the message to these homeless people. Where the humbling part came from was I had this game plan of my own, was to go out and lead them all lead them all to salvation. That was my purpose. And I had great zeal to do that. Oh, wow, this is going to be a jackpot. And all these guys out here are lost, and they need Christ in their life.
Right.
And so I got with him, and he says, sure, when do you want to go? We set the date, and me and my wife put together some love offering boxes just to offer something when we entered the camps. Entered the camps and got to talking with these individuals. And I thought, this feels so good. It just feels so good. And so I just kept it calm there. I didn't really go on the approach of sharing the gospel with them. I just wanted to get to know them. And I left, and I got back, and I told my wife how exciting that was to meet these folks. They were very cordial, very respectful, and couldn't wait to get back. And well, the next day, boom, it was morning time. I was up, and I was out at the camps. Still, keep in mind, my thoughts was to bring them all to salvation. So I got to questioning them and asking them, do you know Jesus Christ that lives into your heart? And just basic questions, spiritual questions. And oh yes, I was saved. I was saved when I was 15 years old, and so on, and share the testimony. And then another man, he jumps in there and he says, oh yeah, I've been saved as well. And he shared his testimony. And as all this was going on, I haven't gotten to one that have not been saved. And I thought to myself, this was not my plan. It was not my plan. My plan was to lead them to salvation. They had already been led to salvation. They had just made bad choices. Well, with all that said, I walked out of the camp with my head down, really. I was quite humbled. I got in my pickup truck, and I sit there, and I bowed my head, and I prayed, and I talked to God about this whole thing. And I said, wow, God, I think I got the message. And I could just see his big smile on his face. Yeah, you got it.
You got the message.
You got the message.
Right.
He says, listen, you went in there to plant trees. He says, I'll plant the trees. He says, you spread the seeds. I'll test the soil. And you be my hands and feet. And wow, man, you talking about humbling. I knew from that point on what my true calling and the specifics of my calling was.
And one of the things I'd like to say is, because I think all of us have had a similar experience where we really think we know where God is leading us and what this whole ministry thing is about. And my personal experience is that I have had a rude awakening also. It was nothing like I thought it was. And everything I thought I knew, I found out I did not know anything. So we are fleshing out the will of God, and it is a humbling experience.
Yes.
It is. Linda, tell me a little bit about a Taste of Union.
Taste of Union is we define it as a fun food tasting event. This is our 10th year, and I will say it's September 29th in Monroe at the First Presbyterian Church on Windsor Street, but we have it every year. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, and the way it works is you pay for a ticket, and you walk into this big room. Have you been, Tom?
No.
Anyway, you walk into this big fellowship hall or gym, wherever we have it, and there are tables everywhere, and they're all decorated with food. Food is everywhere. We have 15 to 25 restaurants who provide all this food, and you walk in and you can go have a taste at every spot. It's so much fun. And we also have entertainment. Sometimes we have a DJ, the last several years we've had live entertainment. We have a band this year that's coming, Borderline Band, and what else? A silent auction. So
And this is going to be when?
this is September 29th. It's Saturday, September 29th. Tickets go on sale. Oh, they went on sale today. I just realized. They're on sale now. You can buy them online at our website, opreachout.org, opreachout.org. And they're $30. But today through September 10th, to celebrate our 10th year, we're giving $10 off the second ticket. So one for 30, one for 20. And anyway, it is always so much fun. But what is nice is once you pay your ticket price, you really don't have to spend any more money, and you can just enjoy the evening. It's typically from 5:30 to 8.
Right. And is this a part of your annual fundraising?
It is our biggest fundraiser. We have it every year. Modine Howie actually came up with the idea 10 years ago to have something where people would come and bring food. And myself and another lady, we got together and decided we would ask restaurants. So it's all donated.
Very good.
Everything's donated, even the venue's donated.
Very good.
And we get sponsors and all the money. It costs very little to put it on. So all the money goes straight to Operation Reach Out. And of course, we're all volunteers putting it together. So
Very good.
it's a lot of fun. I hope you'll come.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Sessom invited me. That's the first thing he did was pull me in.
That's right.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
Awesome.
Reverend Ribbett,
Yes.
tell me about your working relationship with Operation Reach Out.
Well, as I said, it started in January of 2018. I never imagined the experience that I would have with Operation Reach Out. There's some wonderful people, some loving people, and you can intuitively see that their gifts are mercy. And we all know as Christians, we can tell which ones have that gift of mercy, and there is quite a few there that have those gifts. They're very efficient in helping others, and also is helping our ministry as well. We have donors, people that donate. The community will come in and drop off their donations, because I spend most of my time in the woods. That's where Tent City Ministry is. Well, actually, it's the only one in Union County at this time. Well, in Monroe, the greater Monroe area. And so I go into the woods and I sit down with these fellas and I talk to them. And you know, God had spoke to me and said, I will give you the opportunity to share the gospel.
Right.
But he wanted me to show it first.
Right.
Just wanted me to show them the love and the respect.
Right.
And I felt that. I knew it. I just left it alone. I just did what I felt like he was calling me to do. And so yes, we have people that I spend a lot of time in the camps. Some ministries, they are wonderful ministries. They come in, but people are a little reluctant to sitting down and talking to them. They'll drop things off and see you later kind of deal, and that's okay. That's their heart's in the right place. But it's a very specific ministry and a very challenging ministry because you're dealing with people with addiction. You're dealing with people with alcohol abuse. And then you're dealing with mental illness. And so there it becomes really challenging. And don't look for any rewards.
Right.
So it just reminds me of a story a friend had told me once, making bad choices. And that's what these people have done. They've just made bad choices. I've heard their testimonies. They have followed the Lord in their time of living, and they took a detour. It's like one of us, we know how to get home. And if it's just a straight line to get home, we know it. We've gone there every day. We can almost shut our eyes and know we can get there. But these folks, They get on that road, and this is where they made their bad choices. A detour sign comes up. It says, "Go this way. It's faster and it's easier." I've done that before. Go off onto that detour, come up onto another detour sign, says, "Now you got to go this way, and then you got to go that way," and before you know it, you're out in the wilderness, and it starts to get dark, and you can't find your way back, and you wish, why on earth wouldn't I just gone the way God showed me His path?
Right. Right.
And it's just unfortunate for them because they are wallowing in the wilderness. They have nothing. They're at the bare bottom of everything.
It's like a hole they can't get out of.
A hole they can't get out of.
Right.
Amen. Well, Linda, we got about 2 minutes left. Let me ask you about the thrift store.
Oh yeah, Finders Keepers. Finders Keepers is a resale shop. People donate furniture and clothes and pots and pans, and if you can buy it in a store, it's probably at Finders Keepers.
Right.
I mean, we have so much stuff, and people donate it. We sell it for really, really reduced prices, and all the funds go to support Operation Reach Out. So it's a great revenue stream for us, but it is a great place to shop for people
Sure is.
that can't afford to shop at the regular retail stores.
How can they find your ministry?
How can you find it?
Yes.
Well, we're located in Monroe at 1308 Miller Street, which is really close to the Farmers Market and Skyway Drive. Finders Keepers is right across the street from the Finders Market on Skyway. And we're at OpReachOut, opreachout.org. You can call 704-289-4237. And probably find us on Facebook too. I don't do the Facebook, but we have somebody who does. So, and I think Tom's on Facebook as well.
Reverend Rebet,
Yes.
how can they find you?
Yes, I'm located 1308 Miller Street as well.
Okay.
My office is next door to the main building, but anyone that feels free to bring donations of tents, sleeping bags, blankets, flip-top cans of any kind, bring them to Operation Reach Out. Tell them it's for Tent City Ministry, and one of the wonderful staff they have on board will direct it to our facility.
Amen.
Yes.
And what I'd like to tell the audience is that these are two wonderful organizations that I found in Monroe and Union County. And I guess the takeaway, it's about networking. It's about we are interconnected and intercorrelated. When we pray, we say, "Our Father," not my Father, not your Father, but our Father which is in heaven. Thank you for tuning in to the Bishop and Speaking. We will put their information on the bottom of the screen so that you can reach out to Operation Reach Out and Tent City Ministries. Until next week, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming on the show. And
Thank you.
God bless you and be encouraged.